Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. We'll start with the headlines. His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed receives the Senior Minister of State for Interior and Foreign Affairs of Singapore and the Special Envoy of the President of Russia and the Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Russian company Gazprom. The Sultanate and the Netherlands discuss in Muscat developing of ports and logistics services to facilitate trading process between both countries. The State Council approves a proposal to develop Oman journalism role and to establish printing presses and discusses legislations governing expatriate laborers. And processions rejoicing His Majesty's safe return continue in various governorates of the Sultanate. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in details. His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, received His Excellency Mas Jus Dikhlifl, Senior Minister of the State for Interior and Foreign Affairs of Singapore. He conveyed greetings and best wishes of His Excellency President Dr. Tony Tan King Yam of Singapore to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos on the blessed return to the Sultanate and his best wishes to His Majesty. His Highness welcomed the guest and his delegation and expressed Sultanate satisfaction for the increase in development witnessed by relations between the two countries. They also viewed ways of enhancing cooperation in economic and investment fields, as well as activating the agreements concluded between the two sides for more commercial exchange and setting up numerous joint projects. They also viewed a number of issues and developments in regional and international arenas. On his part, the guest expressed his pride and that of his delegation of visiting the Sultanate, which Singapore is having every appreciation and respect for. He considered this visit as an opportunity to acquaint with the development projects conducted in the Sultanate in various fields and expressed his satisfaction for his meeting with officials for enhancing Omani-Singapore relations. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, received His Excellency Viktor Zobakov, Special Envoy of His Excellency the President of Russia and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Russian company Gazprom. He conveyed greetings and best wishes of His Excellency President Vladimir Putin of Russia for the return of His Majesty safe and healthy, and his best wishes for His Majesty and the government for continued success and for the Omani people for their progress and prosperity. His Highness welcomed him and his delegation and viewed relations between the two countries, besides mutual desire to strengthen them, especially at the advantages provided for investors and Sultanate's advantage of the distinctive geographic situation. They also viewed economic cooperation, encouraging joint investment and activating commercial exchange. They also viewed current issues in the regional and international arenas. The guest expressed his country's appreciation for increasing relations and praised his talks with His Excellency, the Minister of Oil and Gas, and senior officials at the ministry, besides positive steps being reached. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Hamad Al Rumhi, Minister of Oil and Gas. The greetings of the King, the government and people of Netherlands to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and the Omani people for the safe return of His Majesty to the homeland were conveyed by Her Excellency Liliane Ploemen, Minister of Foreign Trade and Development Cooperation of Netherlands, currently on a visit to the Sultanate, who said,
التي تلعبه السلطنة في المنطقة لتحقيق الاستقرار.
The Sultanate and Netherlands are linked with deep-rooted relations that date back to more than 350 years. they have developed over the last year in various fields, including marine transport and ports. The session of talks between the two sides today enhanced the economic and commercial partnership between the two countries. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Ftaisi, Minister of Transport and Communications, said that the talks focused on ways to activate the logistics field in the Sultanate and its associated issues. As a result of these talks, the government of Netherlands offered 2 training programs in the field of logistics field for Omani experts and in the field of statistics for National Center for Statistics and Information. On the sideline of their visit to the Sultanate, the delegation visited Port Sohar and met with some representatives of the local community, as well as exploring more cooperation potentials in the field of logistics services. A number of agreements were also signed in the field of fisheries wealth among small and medium enterprises. The State Council approved in today's sessions the report of the Committee on the Study of Regulations that organize expatriate manpower and agreed to redraft some regulations. The session also focused on disguised trade and its impact on the national economy and Omani manpower. The Council also approved the proposal submitted by the Cultural and Media Committee on developing the role of the Omani journalism and upgrading its position locally and internationally, the need to have specialized parliamentary journalists, and reconsider printing and publication laws were also topics discussed during the session, which was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfoud al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council. The tender board awarded a number of vital projects worth 96.6 million Omani Riyals. Among the projects awarded were the Ibri Driz Mesken Road doubling project, second phase, Higarmak Mesken Road as well, doubling the road from Raisut to roundabout to Salala Port in the Governorate of Dhofar, providing consultancy services for managing the project of constructing railway tracks in the Sultanate. Additional works were also approved, topped by the Hasik Shweimiya Road construction in the Governorate of Dhofar, providing dialysis service for patients in the Governorate of Muscat, and expansion of water supply network in the Wilaya of Nizwa of the Governorate of Dakhiliya. The meeting also approved a number of development and service projects in various governorates of the Sultanate. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin Safi al-Haraybi, Chairman of the Tender Board. The Ministry of Manpower signed a number of agreements with training institutes in the Sultanate to qualify 381 citizens for private sector labor markets at a cost of 920,770 Omani Riyals. The agreements were signed by His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower, and included the development and a number of technical aspects in colleges of technologies and training centers. The agreements came within the framework of the government to qualify Omani youth and uplifting Omanization at various national economy sectors. The Royal Navy of Oman today celebrated the receiving of the vessel Seeb, the first of Al Ufuq project, and naming and launch of the vessel Shinas, the second vessel of this project, in Singapore. The project is aimed to provide the Royal Navy of Oman with 4 coastal patrol vessels fitted with the latest systems and defensive equipment to fulfill requirements and to help in carrying out the national duties. Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis Raisi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, stressed that the project after its completion will constitute a new addition to a series of developments and modernization adopted by the Royal Navy of Oman to develop its naval fleet. And still to come in our news bulletin. The Sultanate's celebrations continue on the occasion of His Majesty the Sultan's safe return to the homeland.
مشتاقون لأيام زمان؟ خلوا مزاج سندويشكم على مزاجكم. زوروا كيري أرابيا.
Negotiation over Iran's nuclear program resumed Louisiana, Switzerland today, but were almost immediately beset by competing claims just hours after diplomats abandoned the march 31st deadline to reach the outline of a deal and agreed to press on. And as the latest round hit the week mark, 3 of the 6 foreign ministers involved left the talks with prospects for agreements remaining uncertain. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi told reporters that if the sides make progress on the text of a joint statement, then that could be issued by the end of the day. But he suggested the statement would contain no specifics. A senior Western official quickly pushed back, saying that nothing about a statement had been decided and that Iran's negotiating partners would not accept a document that contained no details. A Saudi-led coalition bombarded rebel positions earlier today in Yemen's main southern city Aden in a 7th night of raids that also targeted the capital and other areas. In Aden, the strikes were focused on the rebel-held provincial administration complex in Dar Saad in the north of the city. The coalition has vowed to keep targeting the Houthis and allied army units loyal to former strongman Ali Abdullah Saleh until they end their insurrection. The headquarters of a renegade army brigade loyal to Saleh was targeted overnight in the north of Aden, as well as the city's international airport. A leader of militia fighters loyal to President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi said that the militias have captured 26 Houthis during fighting in Aden. The law of mobile truck weight, which was implemented recently, provoked controversy among company owners who use trucks with various weights in their business and concerned bodies in the government to discuss the law. The Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry organized a dialogue session where it invited entrepreneurs and concerned bodies representatives after the companies reacted to the objection on applying the law of the truck weight. The session included work papers from both sides as well as long discussions on the issue. The Committee to Study the Level of Income Growth for the GCC Citizens and Their Well-Being held its second meeting. And the committee studying the future of oil and gas as a source of wealth and energy in the GCC countries and the importance of conserving them as a strategic security and development option also held its second meeting. The 2 meetings were held at the headquarters of the advisory body of the Supreme Council of the GCC countries today. The committees discussed the memoranda submitted by many of the competent authorities, which were addressed to provide them with sufficient information for the study. These discussions come after a series of preparatory meetings aiming to prepare the draft for the vision of the advisory body on topics assigned to it. The visions will be discussed in an expanded meeting of the advisory body before submitting them to the meeting of the GCC leaders in December this year. With Arab and international participation, the works of Iodine Global Network Management Council meeting started today in Muscat. The event, which is being hosted by the Sultanate, represented by the Ministry of Health, discusses latest global developments in reducing iodine deficiency disorder. It also deals with announced policies on reduction of salt intake to combat heart and hypertension diseases. Representatives of the World Organization and the Sultanate and regional coordinators of Iodine Global Network Management Council take part in the 3-day meeting. In order to raise awareness on nephrology in the society, Al Masara Hospital in the Governorate of Muscat organized a seminar for its personnel on latest development on kidney diseases treatment. The lectures described in details kidney failure disease, its causes and treatment. They also stressed the need to avoid excessive use of painkillers, to drink enough water and follow other healthy practices. Aspects of military cooperation between the Sultanate and the United Kingdom were discussed by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harab al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, when he received in his office at Beit al-Falaj camp today His Excellency Lord Astor, Under Secretary of the Ministry of British Defence, and his delegation. They also exchanged points of views on matters of mutual concern. The meeting was attended by His Excellency the Ambassador of the United Kingdom accredited to the Sultanate and the British Defence Attaché at the Embassy of the United Kingdom in Muscat. His Excellency Mohammed bin Nasser al-Razbi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, viewed today at his office in Muaskar al-Murtafa a number of matters of common concern and exchanged points of views when he received His Excellency Lord Astor, Under Secretary of the Ministry of British Defense, and his delegation. Military cooperation in matters of mutual concern between the Sultanate and the United Kingdom topped discussions of Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, when he received His Excellency Lord Astor, Under Secretary of the Ministry of British Defence, and his delegation. They also exchanged points of views and march of existing military cooperation between the two countries. The Sultanate celebrations continued on the occasion of His Majesty the Sultan's safe return to the homeland. The citizens of the wilayas of Nizwa celebrated His Majesty's return. They went in a huge procession amid happiness and meaning of loyalty and gratitude. The processions were also accompanied by Omani traditional arts and national poems. Citizens in the wilaya of Bukha and the governorate of Musandam also organized a procession of joy and loyalty, expressing their happiness of His Majesty's safe return. It witnessed Omani traditional arts and national poems. And in the loyalty and gratitude procession in the wilaya of Salala and the governorate of Dhufar, the students of Dhufar University organized a festival that witnessed a huge participation from members of the society, including men and women, cheering sincere greetings and best wishes to His Majesty, the beloved leader. It also included Omani traditional arts, poetic sessions, and national operetta. And finally, to continue celebrating the safe return of His Majesty the Sultan to the homeland, private sector employees organized a procession at a sea beach to express their sincere feelings and overwhelming happiness. A camel ride called Al-Arda held in the wilaya of Nakhal as part of the celebrations of the arrival of His Majesty. The traditional camel ride took place in the camel race course of Nakhal. More details with Saif bin Khalfan al-Kindi in the following report.
Race of Al-Arda is a camel ride mainly consisted of two camels running together, taking off at the same time and passing through a long field in limited time.
Today we are very happy and we are interested to participate in this actually event. It is like Al-Arda ride race. It is like a camel race, and it is something which is very traditional and very useful for the tourism, and so many people from here they are participating in this event.
A crowd of people coming from different villages in South Batina Governorate, watching the camel ride of Al-Arda, held in the wilaya of Nakhal as part of the celebrations on the occasion of the arrival of His Majesty the Sultan.
Of course, preparing this one of these occasions is one of the important things in our society. These people want to say how they are happy of this occasion, because the arrival of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos is one of the best things which we are living in these days. So they did their best, and they used their camels, their songs, everything in tradition to get them survived, and so in the same time to participate in this occasion.
Such camel ride activity needs self-confidence, bravery and enthusiasm by a skillful rider on a fast-running camel.
This event is very important to shifting the traditional things to our children. The old man here, they know all the things about the rides, and they wanted to shift all the things to the new generation. So we are so happy to do something like that.
Traditional songs and dances drawing inspiration from each other in every camel race, where people form a semicircle, in the middle of which drummers set the rhythm of an old camel ride songs.
They have some traditional songs, some traditional words to be used in these cases also. In the same time, they are riding their camels and using some traditional, some rhymes, some songs, some traditional words used in these cases.
Well, as we can see, people are happy on this occasion. The arrival of His Majesty is one of the essential, important event for locals to celebrate. Camel ride is one of the most important ceremonies used in the wilaya of Nakhal. Saif al-Kindi for English News, South Batina region.
And now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the governorates of Dhufar, Musandam, Baremi and North Batina. The rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate along the coast of the Sea of Oman. The seas will be moderate along the southeastern coast with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters, and it will be slight to moderate along the rest of the coast with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness Sayyid Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Saeed receives the Senior Minister of State for Interior and Foreign Affairs of Singapore and the Special Envoy of the President of Russia and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Russian company Gazprom. The Sultanate and the Netherlands discuss in Muscat developing of ports and logistic services to facilitate trading process between both countries. The State Council approves a proposal to develop Oman journalism role and to establish printing presses and discusses legislations governing expatriate laborers. And processions rejoicing His Majesty's safe return continue in various governorates of the Sultanate. With that, we come to an end to tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, good night.